One quick thing before we start the video. Recently, we hit 1,000 views on the channel. I know that doesn't sound like much, but I'd like to thank all of you for supporting the channel. And there was one thing that I'd like to add, is 97.3% of you are not subscribed to the channel. First, thanks to the 2.7% who are subscribed, and I really do appreciate every single one of you for supporting the channel. So to the 97.3%, let's all subscribe and help Cycling with Sully grow. Thanks, and let's start the video. Hello, and welcome to Cycling with Sully. Today we are mountain biking in Duluth, Minnesota, at the Mission Creek Trail System. With 30 miles of single track, ranging from easy green trails full of fabulous flow to advanced black trails packed with features that really do pack a punch. With as much of a range as these trails have, we were sure to find something we really liked. Which you will later learn might not be what you expected. We started off from the trailhead right by the St. Louis River, which meant we had to climb all the way out of the river valley. Lower Cathedral was the first trail, and wow, it was a climb. Just as you cross the road, the trail just goes up, 171 feet to be exact. I certainly wasn't expecting such a climb, but on the bright side, it did get me warmed up for what was ahead. Once we finally summited the trail of Lower Cathedral, we were greeted by a skinny feature. How nice! At first I didn't notice it, but as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to do it. I was just happy not to have to climb anymore. We turned off of Lower Cathedral to enter Upper Cathedral, taking us north to Flyover Country. As I finally started to catch my breath, I started to pay more attention to the surrounding woods around me. The birch trees standing tall with their white bark peeling off, giving new growth underneath. The sun shimmering through the leaves above, creating a green kaleidoscope of light on the trail, and the ferns on the forest floor branching out in all directions, creating a fuzzy landscape out in the distance. Just as soon as I started to find a rhythm, I was hit by a bunch of sharp rocks up ahead. Okay, no. I wasn't hit by a bunch of rocks, literally, but figuratively, the rocks hit me, breaking my rhythm. But that probably was a good thing, because up ahead would possibly be the most chaotic part of this entire ride. Time to do Flyover Country, black trail with more warning signs than a construction zone on the side of a mountain. I knew I was in for a treat. Flyover Country starts with a short climb full of small rock ledges, reminding you, do you really know what you're getting yourself into? And if you do know what you're getting yourself into, do you want to? These were the thoughts going through my head. But all of that changed as we approached a beautiful overlook. And here I went, sending it into the first drop. After doing the drop, I was surprised how small it felt. It looked much bigger than I thought, but there was no time for reflection, because jumps were up ahead. This time, I wasn't feeling it to send the jumps. Most of them were double jumps, making it especially hard of a landing if you don't clear it all the way. That's exactly what I did the first jump. I didn't even come close to clearing it, resulting in me losing all of my speed and confidence. As we continued down the trail, A drop was coming up ahead.
It's just
After
really
sending
loud.
the drop at the start, I was feeling pretty confident with my dropping skills.
I was like,
so I decided
maybe
to
the
send the
biggest drop
drop.
I've ever done.
No brake checking or stopping to scout out the landing. I just sent it.
Today.
Unlike the first drop, which appeared big but felt small, the second drop looked small but felt big. This drop might have been the biggest drop I'd ever done, but who actually knows? I wasn't there to measure drops, I was there to have fun.
Oh man.
Finally, Flyover Country fizzled out and sped us back onto Upper Cathedral, going northwest. Upper Cathedral turned out to be a relief, especially after riding the chaotic trail of Flyover Country. And we were back onto the green flow that we all know and love. But this time, we were headed downhill, so pedaling was optional. And that we took advantage of, thanks to the well-built berms and fast-rolling dirt below our tires.
Trail's great.
We became lost in flow. Without having to pedal or worry about which feature we could get hurt on up ahead, all of our thoughts became lost. Which was nice, but getting lost doesn't help very much with navigation. But all we could do was keep going forward, letting the landscape rush past us as if we were stationary with our surroundings coming towards us. But the flow had to be put on pause because a skinny was up ahead.
Ooh.
The skinny had two options, staying left for a straight narrow skinny or right for a wider skinny that had a small left sweep. I chose to stay left to do the narrow skinny because I was up for a challenge. It must not have been much of a challenge because I cleared it first try. This has been an interesting pattern that I've noticed. Every single skinny I've done today, I did first try.
Are very funny.
Usually I'm not too great at skinnies, but today must be different. Who knows? It could just be luck. I've only done 2 skinnies today, so the data pool is too small to make any conclusions. And back to the flow. I had a hard time keeping my eyes on the trail going through this section, overlooking Mission Creek. Yup, that's probably where the trail system got its name from, the creek down below.
Wow.
I don't know for sure, but it's just a wild guess. No, but more seriously, this view is amazing. As an added bonus, the trail keeps going parallel to the river, so the view is there for a fair bit. I think it needs to be slowed down just a bit, so we can all take the view in for a little longer. Thanks. That's what I needed. Now we turned away from sightseeing views of Mission Creek and hopped onto Valley West, which is part of the much larger trail, the Duluth Traverse. This trail brought us across the highway and onto the St. Louis River Trail, again part of the Duluth Traverse. Now we had the option to stay right on the St. Louis River Trail or take a left onto Low-Key. We decided to go on Low-Key, a nice descent of fast flow that weaves back towards the start. Nearing the end of the ride at the Mission Creek Trails, I can officially conclude my favorite part of these trails are the bridges. I've never seen so many bridges on a trail before. They also had a very unique angular style. Instead of being raised up on posts with a flat deck, these bridges were low to the ground, and the deck was comprised of many angles that reflect the ground. It may be hard to imagine, but think Nintendo 64 shapes. 3-dimensional, but with flat sides and sharp angles. If you're ever in Duluth, Minnesota and want to ride some flow, check out the Mission Creek Trails and you will not be disappointed. Today, I only rode half of the trails that Mission Creek has to offer, so I'm sure it wouldn't be too hard
I
to
don't wanna
spend
tip
all
over.
day here riding.
Whoa.
And before this video comes to an end, if you found it helpful, consider subscribing to Cycling of Sully for more
Hey,
mountain
there's a parking
biking
lot.
and bike-related videos.